Are you looking for the best camera for sports photography? Whether you're a professional photographer or a hobbyist amateur who wants to capture some great photos of their kid's first soccer match, it's wise to invest in the best camera for sports photography. While smartphones and compact cameras nowadays do a great job at shooting multiple shots a second, also known as burst mode, they clearly have their limitations. This guide to the top cameras for sports photography will give you some insight into what features are most important when making your choice. I'll leave the links to all cameras in the description. You can check them for more information and the latest prices. Starting our list with Sony A92. To kick off our guide to the best camera for sports photography, we take a look at the mirrorless wonder that is the Sony A92. This is an ideal camera for a number of reasons, but first and foremost is its incredibly accurate autofocus system. The A92 possesses 693 phase detection plus 425 contrast detection autofocus points, plastering the sensor with a high density, 93% coverage. A standout feature of this and many Sony mirrorless cameras is the incredible tracking system. With face and eye autofocus, you can really stick to your subject and maintain strong focus throughout. What's more, the A92 boasts animal eye autofocus should you want to do some trackside shooting. Being able to capture fast-paced action such as athletics and even motorsport requires fast shutter speeds. This mirrorless camera can push its electronic shutter up to speeds of 132,000. A key attribute of a sports photography camera is the ability to shoot in a continuous burst at high speeds. This way, you capture lots of images of the action in motion, allowing you to select the best and most impactful image from the lot. The Sony A92 boasts an incredible 10 FPS from its mechanical shutter in full resolution mode. As a result, there's no sacrifice in quality when taking a burst of images. In low-light situations such as in an arena or local hall, you're able to maximize the image output thanks to the effective ISO range that doesn't leave images grainy and unusable. If you're a pro-level sports photographer, you can rest easy knowing that you can achieve high-speed data transfer via the onboard LAN terminal. Your images can be transferred and published in almost real time. Fortunately, the Sony A92 features 5-axis in-body image stabilization. This allows greater control of image stability, especially when shooting at a slower shutter speed in poor light. All of these features are packed into a neat and stylish mirrorless camera body with access to an amazing range of Sony and third-party lenses. As a result, there are excellent sports photography lenses priced to suit anyone's budget. While this is one of the lighter cameras here, all of that camera brilliance does come at a hefty cost. The Sony A92 retails at around $4,500, making it one of the more expensive cameras in this guide. But for those that are stepping up to pro level or are already there, the cost versus performance is well worth it. The Sony A92 is a true champion when it comes to the greatest camera for sports photography. At number 2, it's Canon 7D Mark II. It wouldn't be a guide to the best camera for sports photography without at least one of Canon's brilliant DSLR cameras. Yes, the Canon 1DX series are used by many professional sports photographers, but they're also out of the budget of most amateurs and even pros. The Canon 7D Mark II houses a 20.2 MP APS-C image sensor and a clever Digic 6 image processors. This combination alone ensures amazing image quality and shooting performance. Canon creates amazing cameras and the 7D Mark II is no exception to that heritage. It's a solid and stylish DSLR. Canon's been playing this game for a very long time now. With a full range of functions and features, paired with a sensible design and user ergonomics, the Canon 7D Mark II is one of the best cameras for sports photography at this price point. When it comes to autofocus performance, the 7D Mark II utilizes a dual-pixel CMOS autofocus system to achieve smooth and fast subject tracking even in the most extreme conditions. Whether you're shooting downhill skiing or the footy on the weekend, you're sure to capture every moment of fast-paced action. Further to this, the Canon can capture 10 frames per second in continuous shooting. With the right memory cards, the buffer can manage over 1000 JPEG images and over 30 RAW images. With that kind of performance, you'll have an extensive image catalog containing every moment of the action in high-quality detail. While the Canon 7D Mark II doesn't feature in-body image stabilization, it's fully supported by an incredible lineup of quality Canon lenses. Canon has an extensive range of high-quality zooms that feature image stabilization. As a result, shooting at slower shutter speeds to compensate for poor lighting conditions will never be a problem. What's more, Canon zooms will allow you to get up close and personal with the action. Just imagine capturing the grit and endurance on players' faces during a nighttime netball match. While the 7D Mark II is coming up to 6 years old, it's still an incredible camera for capturing the action at sporting events. And at around $1,300 for the body, it's exceptional value. At that price, you can invest more heavily in a couple of great Canon or third-party lenses that are ideal for sports photography. If you're wondering why we aren't recommending the Canon R5 in this video, it's due to its high price. Around $5,000 is a big spend for most parents, no matter their dedication to their son's footy match. At the end of the day, the Canon 7D Mark II makes a brilliant solution for those looking at getting serious about this genre of photography. At number 3, it's Sony A7R III. The Sony A7R III is our second mirrorless camera from Sony to consider when looking for a great camera for sports photography. It's only recently been superseded with an upgrade in the incredible A7R IV. The A7R III features a big, glorious full-frame sensor with a whopping 42.4 megapixels image sensor. This sensor pulls in an incredible amount of light and image data, resulting in unprecedented image quality, and the huge files allow for tight cropping and post-production, just in case you shot a photo without a long lens. The autofocus system is sublime thanks to its hybrid system with 399 phase detection and 425 contrast detection autofocus points, covering most of the sensor. The autofocus system on the A7R III is lightning fast, and the advanced subject recognition gives it the ability to detect and track both human and animal eyes. Most camera brands don't even come close to the tracking performance of Sony cameras in this area. Another great advantage is the ability to achieve the same autofocus and tracking outcomes in low light. Sony has employed advanced algorithms into its tech so that you can effortlessly cover a suburban training session on a dimly lit field. Sony has been applauded for the implementation of in-body image stabilization into its cameras. As a result, the A7R III has inherited 5-axis image stabilization for smoother shooting across the ISO range, even in poor light. With all that stability and low light performance in mind, let's throw in the A7R III's ability to shoot silently at 10 frames per second. Thanks to an updated Bionic X processing system, processing speed is incredibly fast, resulting in better buffer performance too. One of the things I love most about the Sony range of alpha cameras is how they pack all that incredible tech into such stylish and appealing camera bodies. A downside of the Sony A7R III, or any Sony for that matter, is the overly complicated menu system shared with its predecessor, the Sony A7R II among others. While Sony is one of the most innovative brands out there, the menu system leaves a lot to be desired. Look to the A7 III for a much-needed improvement to the Sony menu system, which is likely to be rolled out to other models in 2021. The A7R III is available for around $2,800, and that puts it in the middle in terms of the price of the cameras in this guide. As a result, this makes it one of the best deals on sports photography cameras. What's more, Sony and other compatible third-party lens developers have some of the best lenses for this style of photography. The Sony A7R III combines some of the best tech, performance, style, and price to deliver an exceptional camera for sports photographers. At number 4, it's Nikon D500. Now we get to take a look at a Nikon entry into the best camera for sports photography. This is the first of two Nikons. This time, we take a look at the Nikon D500 with its 20.9 megapixels APS-C sensor that delivers crisp and sharp images with the help of the Nikon X-Speed 5 image processor. Nikon cameras have a very distinct design style, and the D500 is a classic example of Nikon DSLR technology. Add to this a large grip and easy access to necessary command functions and you have an incredibly comfortable camera to shoot all day with at your local stadium. Keep in mind that this is not a light unit. At 860 grams without a lens it has quite a heft to it. When it comes to shooting fast-paced action, the Nikon D500 relies on a phase detect autofocus system with 153 focus points. Further to this, the firmware allows for two separate tracking systems: blocked shot autofocus response and subject motion. The blocked shot system allows for the tracking to stick to a subject even when they are obscured by another subject. The subject motion allows you to vary the camera's response based on the subject's motion. For example, you can set this to track fast, erratic and slower subjects accurately. Two separate autofocus tracking systems on the Nikon D500 were specifically designed for action captures, making it perfect for fast-paced sports photography. Speaking of action, the D500 has the capacity to shoot up to 10 FPS continuous shooting, ideal for tracking a sprinting athlete or a Formula 1 car taking a tight bend. If you're after a camera with video recording capabilities, so you can also shoot quality 4K video of said fast-moving objects, the D500 won't disappoint. It can shoot 4K video in both 24p and 30p, producing clear and sharp footage. This camera is tailored to suit the professional market of photographers with the use of dual memory card slots, one a UHS 2 SD card slot and the other XQD card slot. The menu system of the Nikon D500 is really simple to navigate, plus setting up the camera's many functions, systems, and customization options is pretty straightforward. The great news is that this camera retails for around $1,500. That's a surprising price for such a capable camera with pro-level performance and function. Paired with one of the amazing Nikon zoom lenses, the Nikon D500 can take advantage of its crop sensor for more reach. It's a brilliant camera for sports photographers both new and seasoned. At number 5, its Canon T7i sports photography is no longer a game played just by the pro-level photographers out there. More and more consumer-level photographers are getting into the action of the genre, regardless of whether they're capturing professional athletes or their kid's local baseball game. As a result, we thought it important to include an entry-level camera fit for sports photography. The Canon T7i, known as the 800D in some regions, is a brilliant low-cost alternative well-suited to sports photography and those starting out in the field. It has a neat and fairly compact body design that has a typical Canon DSLR aesthetic. The grip and function controls are comfortable and well placed. With a brilliant 24.2 megapixels APS-C MO sensor and Digic 7 processor, you're sure to capture clear and sharp images at your next event. What's more, the camera features dual-pixel autofocus subject tracking that will hold focus on fast-moving subjects. A surprising addition to the Canon T7i is the 5-axis in-body image stabilization. This goes a long way to reducing camera shake, especially when using telephoto lenses and shooting in low-light conditions. Dual-pixel CMOS autofocus track subjects as they move, while the 5-axis image stabilizer will prevent camera shake when shooting handheld movies. Note that this Canon offers HD, but not 4K video. Despite being an entry-level camera, the T7i has access to all of the APS-C Canon and third-party lenses including some outstanding telephoto primes and zooms, ideal for enthusiast sports photographers. At around $800, the Canon T7i gives you a lot of performance and features at a really low price, especially when you compare it to the cost of some of the other cameras in this guide. If it's over your budget, check out the Canon T7i versus T6i. If you're looking for a great camera to get started in sports photography, then look no further than the Canon T7i. With that, I come to the end of the review. No matter your budget or your skill level, there's always a solution for those looking for the best sports photography camera. At the end of the day, a great camera for this genre needs a few essential features. The first is a sensor and image processor that will allow for fast autofocus and sticky subject tracking. After all, any sporting event is usually fast-paced. The second feature is a decent continuous shooting mode with around 10 frames per second. This way you're sure to capture every moment of the action and later select the best image from the pack. Of course, you need to consider the quality of the sensor as this will determine how well the camera will perform in low light and what the image quality will be. The quality of the LCD monitor or the ability to shoot a 4K video may be considerations depending on your personal needs, but generally speaking, they're not the biggest concerns when it comes to this field of photography. By following the advice we've offered in this video, you're sure to make the right purchasing decision. This will, of course, ensure that at your next sport shoot, you stand confidently capturing amazing images. If you have any questions or comments, do feel free to leave them below.